Hey everybody, how you all doing? I'm back with another episode of Action Sunday. Kind of lied. I'm still in the office. I'm still kind of slowly taking it apart piece by piece. Of course, uh, it'll take time. Of course, it's kind of hot because it is an ungodly hot day here in the shadow of Philadelphia. So, but anyway, I'm going to try and make this move on quick. So, let's talk about this movie, Operation Stormbreaker, or the Alex Rider movie kind of thing. This movie came out in 2006, and not to be confused with the Alex Rider TV show, which I already reviewed. So, yeah, I'm like, yeah. So let's talk about this. So I didn't know. So I think you've heard me say this before. Is that like, I was kind of familiar with the Alex Rider stuff. My brother read the Alex Rider books. I never did. I was more into Robert Ludlum and all that good stuff. But if I had to go back in time and if I was interested into the books that my brother and I were, we might have enjoyed this movie because this movie, again, kind of slipped under the radar at the time because when it came out like 05 and 06, I mean, but I was a much older teenager. My brother had just turned 13 kind of thing. So I'm like, wow. Like, I think this kind of slipped this by. But at the same time, like, looking back at it, I felt like this movie was trying too hard to be something else, if that makes sense. So, but after much watching, I was like, okay, I think I know where they're trying to go here. Does anybody remember the Agent Cody Banks movies? There were two of them. It starred Frankie Muniz. I think they were trying to make this movie feel like an Agent Cody Banks movie, which came out around the same time. And of course, here's the interesting thing: the second one was censored in London, so I kind of see where they were trying to go with this. But at the same time, here's the thing: Cody Banks was not supposed to be taken seriously, and it was supposed to be a fun action romp with teenagers. Okay. But here I think it's the opposite. It was trying to be serious, but try to give it like a lighthearted approach kind of thing. Unlike the Alex Rider TV series, which they want to make it somewhat lighthearted, but they made it a little darker and grittier. Again, they were trying to follow the real story and the real vision of Anthony Horowitz. Now, but here I think they were trying so hard to make this be like another Cody Banks movie. And I think that's why people kind of glossed over it, because they looked at it and be like, okay, so it's a kid. Oh, it's another Cody Banks thing. But here's the thing: if you read the book and understand the lore, then I think when you go into the movie, you know what you're expecting. So if anybody doesn't remember the whole role or story of Alex Rider, so he's a teenage prodigy. He's raised by his uncle, who mysteriously gets killed. Then he is recruited by MI6 or MI5, whichever one was. Again, I'm going bouncing back and forth between the modernized one and the old one. Of course, technically it's MI5 and MI6. They merged. So he's hired by that. And of course, essentially goes off from there. He's trying to figure out, infiltrate, take down wherever this whole Operation Stormbreaker is, which is what he was planning to do. Yeah. Of course, again, I think they were trying too hard with this one. They made it a little over the top to make it feel like a Bond movie kind of thing, because he was given some fun, fancy gadgets. He was given a yo-yo. He was given a Nintendo DS, which of course obviously was a big hot thing at that time because every teenager, every gamer that I knew had one. Even my best friend, he had one. So I think they were trying to do something there to make it appeal towards that generation, but I think it kind of fell flat in some departments. But I will admit the star power in this movie is incredible. I mean, yeah, young Alex Pettyfer, who plays Alex Rider, I think he did a good job. But at times you're kind of expecting him to have a little bit more range, because I felt at times his acting was a little wooden. Then you had Ewan MacGregor, who played his uncle, even though you know the ultimate fate of his uncle. He's in it. Seeing Alicia Silverstone in this was interesting, because she plays the character of Jack. Remember, Jack's a girl. He's like a housekeeper / nanny that looks after Alex when his uncle's not working. And of course, I don't recall Jack ever being an American, but who knows? Again, my memory's a little foggy. I might have to reread the stuff again. But anyway, but then you have Mickey Rourke, who plays the villain, Gideon Saul, or whatever his name is. But I'm like, wow, I didn't realize his performance was kind of cheesy, yet a little cliche, if that makes sense, because I felt like his portrayal was like as this greedy, rich supervillain kind of thing. I'm like, where have I seen this before? I feel like, again, they're hitting some spy tropes and spy cliches that I've seen before, especially when it comes if they're trying to take from Bond. Again, like, I felt like some of this kind of fell flat, but the rest of the movie feels good. I mean, the action's top. I'm not going to lie. Like, seeing a 15-year-old kid beat the shit out of a bunch of guys in a junkyard just because he was looking into something or something like that. And then, of course, him taking on a bunch of bags in a top secret facility somewhere where in Ireland. Well, I call it Ireland because that's where they were filming it, even though they were saying it's in somewhere else. But yeah, but again, that's just me and my keen eye for you. So yeah, yeah, it really shows you, like, the action can be there, right? The suspense is great. I like the final act. But then again, yeah, the PG-13 rating kind of shocked me. I'm like, again, I know why they were trying to make it geared towards the younger audience, the people that read the books. But there were times where I'm like, if you want to amp it up, but of course, then again, now I'm comparing this to the Alex Rider TV show that I reviewed some time ago, which of course came out ages later. And of course, now comparing apples and oranges, where that was much more grittier. This one felt more lighthearted and cartoonish. Again, I keep going back to, but overall, like, this movie, I don't know, like, maybe another repeat viewing, maybe this movie will kind of change my mind, maybe a little bit more reading into the Alex Rider lore, and you'll get something amazing. And of course, they kind of left it open that they really were going to try to take the ball and run with it to make some of the books into movies, but I don't think it panned out. But I'm glad they were able to do something with the television series where they were able to take all of Andy Horowitz's material and just stretch it into a series, which I think was a better choice. Because here's the thing when you have a lot in a book, you're trying to take the best things of the book and just throw it at the wall, see what sticks, and then like the pacing is just off. I mean, the pacing was fine, like the first part of the movie, but then at some points you're like, okay, I feel like something's going on here. I'm like, whoa, a minute, stop for a sec, let's see what's going on kind of thing. And it's like, it's just weird. By the time you're caught up, you're like, okay, all right, now we know where we're going. But again, like, yeah, you're taking a lot from a book and you're just amping up a little bit. But again, I still find some entertainment value in this, but delivery-wise, I think could be better, in my opinion. And with that in mind, I'm going to give Operation Stormbreaker, the Alex Rider movie, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to give this maybe a 5.5. I wanted to rate it a little higher. It's not a bad movie by any chance. I'm just thinking maybe there's a shit ton of room for improvement. That's all I'm going to leave at. If you want this movie to watch, it is available on both Tubi and Freevee. I watched it on Tubi, so yay. So yeah, give it a watch if you want to. If you're a big fan of the Alex Rider stuff, in fact, maybe eventually I would have loved to do like a book conversation. Maybe eventually. So this is maybe a topic that I would probably save for a podcast, all right? Just throwing that out there, all right? So that does for this week. Thumbs up video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting content.